Hey guys, Coach Caesar here. Been a full-time coach for the past 3 years. Helped some people out here and there. And John will be another person that I'm going to be helping out. So we're going to start our journey from Plat, 3 months, jungle, after being stuck in Plat. We're going to get to know a little bit about us and him and his journey. You want to give a quick intro to yourself, John?
So I'm Brazilian, 31 years old, software engineer. Moved to Ireland 10 years ago, more or less. Moved there to learn English. The idea was to move back after 6 months, but I just ended up staying there. I live there now at the moment in Ireland. Now I'm Irish as well because I got the nationality after 10 years.
Tell us a bit about your gaming history. Like, have you only played League? Like, what other games have you gone into? Like, what does your gaming history look like, John?
I used to play a lot FIFA, like football. I know FIFA and PES with friends in Brazil. And then when I got my first PC, I started playing Resident Evil. Then I got a PlayStation 4 and I pretty much only played FIFA and The Last of Us.
What got you into League? Was it just like buddies? Did you hear about it on your content? Like, how was that?
I am a person that I'm really competitive, like extremely competitive, and I really like to prove people wrong when they think I can't do something. I have done like a lot of things in my life because of that. So like I have been a semi-professional Muay Thai fighter in Brazil for like 6 years. I fought MMA in Ireland. Made start League of Legends was a bet. I was already living in Ireland, and then I was living there for a couple of years already, and I received 2 friends from college from Brazil. They came to Ireland to also study English, and then I had like a big apartment at the time. So we just shared the apartment. They were gonna stay for 6 months for the course, and they played League of Legends every single day. And I would always say like, no, I don't even like this type of game because it would remind me of, I don't know if you have heard about, but like Mu Online, remind me of that. I was like, no, it's too messy, too many like spells and shit, and these team fights, I can't even understand what is happening there. Nah, I don't want to play that. And then there was a day that I came back home and they were kind of like really happy because they were able to achieve gold, and it was a time that you would get the victory skin only if you reach gold and above. Yeah. And they really liked the victory skin for that year. And I was like, you reach gold, how many eels is there in this game? And then that is like, and then when they reached to gold, I was like impressive, but then they kept going, like gold, and then there wasn't emerald, but there was like platinum, diamond, master. I was like, so it's not that hard, right? And then they made the bet like, I am pretty sure you would have to play for like 3 or 4 years for you to be able to try to reach gold. And that was what got me into League of Legends. So like, and all those things were pretty much because someone came to me and said, "Nah, but I don't think you would be able to do it." I was like, "You sure?" Yeah, and then I go for it, and I try to do it, and I do it. I want to say that I'll reach gold in the same year, the first season that I played, season 9.
Okay, so we're obviously going to start a journey, right? We're going to try to document it all. You're already gold, you're already master gold, right? So now it's just like looking at what exactly is next in this journey, right? What is your new goal, or what is like your new bet with yourself, right? Like what are you looking to achieve now?
Of course, the end goal is challenger, right? Like, but my currently achievable that I think is more like tangible goal is diamond.
Why do you want to get there, right? Like, you could be literally just like playing FIFA. You could be just playing single player games, right? Last of Us, and then just playing some other Spider-Man, Batman. You're just chilling, playing some single player games, right? Why League? Why do you want to get down? Why is that cool? Why does that matter?
I guess like because we also it's kind of like the environment that we also played. You have those games like FIFA and The Last of Us, like single player games. They are not as competitive because it's like when you have League of Legends, it's a team game, so you have more people there. It's which makes the game harder, right? Because the results doesn't depend on only yourself, but also another like 4 players that are in your team and stuff. Another 9 players, to be honest, that are also in the game. And it's a game that every single game is different. You know, like you play FIFA. I used to play FIFA. After you we have this term in Brazil. I don't know if it's the same, but we platinum the game, which is like get all the trophies of the game, online trophies and offline trophies. You there is nothing else to do pretty much. You're just gonna play it with like a friend against each other, and it's a game. You won, he lost. That's it. You know, that is not like something that you keep going, and you have to prove yourself again and again and again. So yeah, so like taking all of that in consideration, and then you add in the fact that I already have friends that plays League of Legends and they are also competitive, and even though they're in the different server in Brazil, but I will go there at some point to prove myself on that server as well. I can, you know, we can compete with each other saying like, oh, I just reached gold, oh, I just reached platinum, oh, you're still bronze, like, oh, you're still gold or whatever, you know. It's yeah, it's that kind of like spiciness in the competitiveness. And the diamond is, I would say, the first big step. You consider like a low elo player. I find it really cool, the possibility to start like playing with the streamers that I watch and everything. But I feel like as soon as I reach diamond, I need to go for the challenger.
Anything in between is relevant for sure, right? Like it definitely is relevant, right? But like it's not as shiny, as nice feeling, and you feel like a whole different sort of category of players, right? So yeah, definitely like gold, diamond, challenger are like the big ranks.
Yeah.
This journey is going to be jungle, and it's going to be pretty much only playing Udyr. So like, what made you decide on that, on jungle as a role and on Udyr as a champion?
So the jungle had more like possibility to impact the whole map since the very start of the game. So for me, that idea kind of like made me think, oh, it's easier to climb as jungler. And then I started playing as jungler. And I actually found it like more like fun to play as jungler because, you know, you can, if you want to fight, you go and fight. If you want to farm, you go and farm. And it's, you know, the farm is there. You don't need to last hit, you know, like the minions and stuff. So yeah, I started having more fun playing jungle.
Solid. So jungle, Udyr, World to Diamond. Eventually, obviously, ambitious, right? Going all the way to challenger. But obviously, first step is. But what about the present, right? What has our journey been so far? Where are we? What's our beginning point, and what's like a bit of the backstory?
Yeah, I reached goal in the first year that I played in season 9. But I played for 1.5 years and then I stopped playing. Found it like really hard to ever get back to gold again because there's so many things of the game changed, so many new champs on these years that I didn't play, you know. So when I came back, it was like really hard. So came back last year, October, September maybe, played a lot. I think I was placed, I'm not sure if I was placed gold, maybe silver, but highest gold for sure, if I placed gold. And then when it started the season, I was like, okay, now I want to take the game more serious. You know, I actually want these goals, diamond and everything. And before I actually just go and play a lot of games and get my MMR like really bad and everything and ended up giving up or something, I'm gonna try to, you know, like get a coach and learn more about the game, try to consume a lot of content, and then when I go play, I'm gonna be a little bit more prepared and all and everything. So we started, and it's like I started playing, yeah, Wukong, Viego, Dia, you know, like I remember we reached platinum with Viego, Wukong, and yeah, Viego and Wukong. We reached platinum, and then I started picking up Odia, and I did that on the solo queue, ranked Lord Odia, and I remember that I dropped all the way to bronze again while learning Udia, like 100 games straight of Udia. Was like the LP history is like back to, but then I started picking up Udia after, like, I remember that literally with like 90 something games on Udia, then came the first game that I actually felt, oh shit, I actually hard carried this game with Udia, but after 90 something games. And then I started climbing, and I was able to reach Platinum 2, was the peak, Platinum 2, 17 LP, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, and now I'm like pretty much hard stuck. Platinum, today I made the account, and it's around 577 games Platinum. Since I reached Platinum, and I was up and down, Platinum 3, Platinum 4, Platinum 3, Platinum 4 for 577 games. So I think if that's not hard stuck, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, a bit of a block for sure, right? And we're gonna find a way through. I think if I speak a little bit on my journey, it's kind of like there's certain, like, I guess, like talent caps or something. I don't know exactly how to call it, right? But for me, like, just playing the game, because I originally actually started playing games since I was like 11, and I think the first game I got into was actually Minecraft, right, back in like a long time ago. And I started playing Minecraft PvP, so like fighting against people, and I started playing in tournaments and stuff like that. Just immediately got into the competitive side. Like, I played single player for I think like a week, and I was like, okay, this shit's boring, you know. It's like, I want to go fight people or, like, you know, be competitive. So I started playing in servers, right, competitive PvP, all that kind of stuff. Starting into tournaments, made a ton of great friends, met a ton of great people, started winning tournaments, all that kind of stuff. And then once Minecraft PvP started dying down, then I had a lot of buddies that played League, so I just transitioned into League. And then naturally, I think I don't know how many years it was, right? I think maybe it was like 3-4 years, right? Got to Diamond. And then once I got to Diamond, that's actually where I was really stuck, right? Like, I spent, I think, around like 3 years in Diamond, right? 3 years where I was just stuck in Diamond the entire time. And I was like, holy shit. And like, I guess, and I think a lot of my lesson every single year was like, oh, I just need to play more games. So then the next year I would play more games. And then maybe I'd go up like half a division, you know, instead of ending like D3 0 LP, I would end like D3 like 80 LP or something like that, you know. So it's just like, okay, well, maybe I just need to play more games, and I would play more games, and it will just not be enough, right? So then I think, okay, something needs to change, right? We need to do something different, which I think I always reference the quote of Albert Einstein, which he says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's kind of what I was doing. I was just playing and playing, and then just expecting that something would change, right? When I think if 2 + 2 is 4 and you keep doing 2 + 2, you're going to keep getting 4, right? So you need to change a variable in the formula or change something so that you get a different result. So I think in this case, I started looking for coaching. I started actually studying, like watching more high-level VODs, right? I got into a competitive team. I was just like asking for a lot more help from my coaches, like doing a lot more. I did a lot of sort of note-taking for reviewing my games and stuff like that. And then finally I was able to break into Master. And I think from that beginning of that process where I wanted to actually do things differently, it took me 1.5 years to then reach Challenger for the first time, right? So it's just, that's the objective that we want to do differently here. Like the journey, as you said, it's been an up and down, right? It's like, great, we start off great, you start off in gold, right? You got the plat 4, great. And then it's like, okay, switch to champion pool, Udyr, a complete mess, went all the way down to bronze, right? But the thing that was very impressive is like you actually made the greatest comeback in history, which is what we call it. Because a lot of people, that happens, they switch a new champion, they fall down to bronze, and then they just quit the game. You know, they just quit the game. You have a lot of tenacity as a person, which I think is a great character or just like a thing to have, right? So you made the greatest comeback in history. You made it all the way to Plat 2, like from Bronze 1, all the way to Plat 2, like 7 LP is really good, right? Now it's like, okay, we're in the rut, we're stuck in Platinum. How do we get out of it? And that's the whole purpose of exactly all the thing that we're going to fill in. We're going to doing a lot of things differently because we want to get different results. Applying a lot of things. It is going to be a lot of experiments as well, since this will be the first time we're doing it, right? But I'm very confident that we're going to make something happen here. And I think as long as we both put in the effort, then I think we can definitely get out of this. And hopefully this, once we do achieve it, like this serves as an inspiration for other people as well, right? Joining has so far, like what do you think like your successes have been so far? Like what do you think did give you like the good, like what do you think have been things that you've applied that have worked well? What do you think are some things that you did well that either made you go from that gold to plat, or even made you make that comeback from bronze all the way to plat 2? Like what do you think are some things that you applied that have gone well?
Oh, I learned a lot. Like I'd say, like I learned a lot. I didn't have, even though I had reached gold before, I didn't have any jungle theory itself. I would play the game, you know, like, oh, do my camps. Oh, there is a fight there. I want to fight here, and then I would go and fight, and like, oh, there is Drake. Oh, let's get it. You know, might be good. Kind of like that, you know. And like that, I was able to reach a gold the first time playing like this. But then when we started, like, you know, the applying, actually, like doing the maths, you know, like, oh, these it's more like optimal. It's a guaranteed gold. It's not a coin flip, and trying to like avoid those like coin flip decisions and stuff. I think that was like crazy improvement, because even if like I full clear and then my gank was horrible, my fights were horrible, I would die, and I would like get a coin flip.
No, that makes sense, and I think foundation like that is a super important thing, right? Because it's at the end of the day, like I think, and we talked about just XP and gold generation, right? Having that be the priority, where it's just like the more gold and XP you have, the more you're actually able to help teammates, the more of an impact you have, the more control you have over the game, and then from then on, it's just like, okay, once we generate a lead, how can we transition that into actually winning the game? What do you think your roadblocks are now? Like, what do you think is stopping you from? What do you think is keeping you stuck in platinum? Like, what do you think are the roadblocks that you need to get over so that you can get into something like even not even emerald, even just plat 1, right?
I think my biggest roadblock is being consistent in applying my theoretical knowledge that I achieved, that I got, into the game itself.
It's just gonna happen. It's not gonna be all nice and smooth sailing. It's not gonna be like, or maybe it is, right? Who knows? but most likely with how life works and stuff, they're inevitably like shit's gonna hit the fan, you know. And, you're gonna go in a loss streak. You're gonna have days off, or you just don't play that well, right, and stuff like that. So in those times when that does happen, John, with this, where we're gonna have a 3-month period where we're gonna be going hard on this, like what is gonna be like? How are you gonna control your thoughts? What's your mentality? What are you gonna tell yourself? How are you gonna keep yourself in the game and keep yourself persevering past through? Similar to when you got to bronze, right? You kind of hit rock bottom, right?
I think it's like it's a mix of like a few things, right? Like, so first I need to be like mentally prepared. Like I need to already go into a game knowing for a fact and accepting the fact that I'm not gonna win every game. I believe like there will be games where I will have really good teammates, and independent on how I play, I will win, because those teammates are gonna play good enough for both of us. There will be games that I will have horrible teammates, and even if I play really extremely well, perfect game, I will still lose, because they are gonna play so bad for both of us. But then there are games where it's gonna depend on me, and I will have to do my part. And if I do my part, I'm gonna win. And those games are the one that I have to be focusing on.
Yeah, and it's definitely, and it's an incredible incredibly difficult thing to do, right? Easier said than done. And I think it's I actually I probably haven't mentioned this, but yeah, League kind of serves as a training ground to like practice certain things that are just helpful in all life, right? Like I think one thing is emotional control, right, and just not tilting. Like there literally has been, I think, 100% teaches how to have mental fortitude, because I think it's a little bit easier when there's like people around us, right, or like there's social pressure to like make us not tilt. But when it's just us and it's anonymous and there's no consequence, like it's much easier for us to just like, because it's just us, it's only us holding ourselves accountable, right? But yeah, like obviously, one thing is like you having hard times not playing well, and then the other thing is like bad teammates, right? AFK stuff like that. Are you gonna just deal with it the same way?
Well, I should, yeah. Like in terms of like keep the mentality like strong and stuff. Fuck that! Why are you doing? For a fact, if I compare myself with like other people that I know that plays League and people that I see in the game, I find myself like pretty hard to tilt, like very hard to tilt. And I'm the type of person that if I tilt, I mostly like go silence. I go silent and I try to focus more because like I'm tilting and I'm like, oh, he's gonna die again, and that's my way to tilt. But it doesn't mean that maybe like it doesn't mean that in none of my games guys are not gonna be seeing me not like cursing someone and like.
I think it goes hand in hand with being such a competitive game and you having that competitive nature. I think. Because I remember and I assume you probably, maybe, I'm Mexican, right? And my dad is obviously Mexican as well. And he used to have some, my dad was, super good at soccer when he was young. And he'd have these, these soccer games in these towns that were just in rural areas, right? Like, where not much is happening, right? And he has some crazy stories about, in these football or soccer games, right? Football games, it was like a guaranteed fight every single game. It was just like it happened, right? Because and he was he had a short temper, right? And there was he has so many crazy stories over and especially was a certain team where they had a certain rivalry. I remember a specific story where the game hadn't even started and they already started fighting and it was just a fucking mess. My dad had to just his buddy had to just already start the car and start driving, and my dad had to run to the car. And on top of the car, they just had to peace out, and the game didn't even happen, right? Because that just happens because it's such a competitive nature, right? And I think in League, it's it's a very competitive game, and with that comes toxicity because everyone wants to win, right? Everyone wants to just see the victory screen. And I think that just kind of creates toxicity. So a lot of people say, "Oh, League is a very toxic game." Yes, because it's probably the most competitive game it is. So it's just natural that they kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, I think it's incredibly difficult, right? It's incredibly difficult, and I think because even I sometimes I throw out some question mark pings here and there, it still happens, right? It's very difficult to do, right? But yeah, I think at the end of the day, because we always ask ourselves, there's Tarzan, there's TF Blade, these kind of really toxic streamers. But they're still climb, right? And I think maybe the answer is just as humans, I think we have to feel things, right? I think sometimes we just feel things, right? We feel anger, whatever it is. But I think it's just separating the emotion from actions, right? I think if we feel very angry about what our teammate did, but we're still trying our hardest to win and we're still making the best decisions possible, then I think it's okay, right? I think it doesn't matter. I think by definition, I believe tilt is when your emotions affect your decision making, right? So if you feel emotions, but they don't affect your decision making, then I don't believe you are tilted, right? So maybe that is a solution. It's don't suppress your feelings, right? It's okay to feel them, but don't let them change what decisions you are making. And then, so I think now on to just the very last question, right? Before we end this off, this was actually, funnily enough, your idea, right? You came up to me with this idea, right, about documenting thing, and I was like, wait, this is actually a great idea. I think we can do it. I think it's interesting, document it, and I think it's just a great thing. I think we don't document enough things because I think ideally when we're 80, 85 years old, right, it'd be great to just look back at these documentaries or videos about it. Those are good times, right?
Tell my grandchildren, look, see, I reached challenger here. See what I did?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I think it's a great. I was super on board, right? And it's gonna be a lot of work, but I do with pleasure, right, and with happiness because I think this is a great project, right? But yeah, like what motivated you to make this happen? Why? What got you this idea? Why do you make this? Why do you want to do this whole thing? What's the drive behind everything?
Don't have many hobbies at the moment. Like I don't have many. Like one of my biggest hobbies, where I spend most time, is actually playing League. So you get that, and then you put together with the fact that I'm extremely competitive, and then you put together the fact that I have friends that are extremely competitive that also plays the game, and they are not on that rank or anything. So I would be the first in the the my little community. Yeah, and then you put like you spice it up with a little bit of ego as well, of course, and that's the recipe for disaster.
But yeah, no, I mean I'm super excited to make this happen, right? I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it's good that we kind of get to know each other a little more, a little bit about your story, right? What drives you, what motivates you, what your ambitions look like, right? Make it all make sense. And yeah, just like having expectations is going to be hard, right? It's not going to be an easy breeze. But it's just that we stay solution focused and just focus on whatever problem we encounter throughout the way. We just focus on solving it as soon as possible. So yeah, we can probably wrap things up there. And then obviously like we'll be updating you guys on the progress, how we go. This is a 3-month sort of challenge. Our beginning is Plat 4. I'll obviously be doing the whole intro and the video and stuff like that. So yeah, we got all of Platinum and all of Emerald in 2 months to go through. Playing Udyr, playing Jungle, and we're going to focus on that. Okay, yeah, we can probably wrap things up there, John. Do you have any last questions, comments, anything you want to say before I end the recording?